Greetings, Soul Tribe members. Welcome. I see everybody's joining, coming in the room. Some people have been waiting. Thank you so much. So today is Thursday, right? I think it's Thursday, July the 2nd, 2026, and the time is 11:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like to timestamp it just in case people want to know when this report. Let me go. Let me get rid of that echo. So, how's everybody doing? I see Brother James Moore is in the chat. Welcome. Sister Elizabeth says, Divine peace and strength, family. Thank you. Grand Rising, Dr. Key and the Soul Tribe. You've been waiting. Oh, really? While riding to the West Coast. Oh, I love the West Coast. Peace, love, and blessings. All right. Hi, Solo. It's good to see you. Grand Rising. Sister Shay's in the house. Superior Rising, Rich Rising. We have 43 people here. That's great. Hello, Sister. So good to see you. Hello, Grand Rising. You know what? I hope I made this. Did I make this private? Oh, family. You know what? I'm so sorry. You're going to have to join the private group. I meant to make this private. I don't know why I made it public. You have to join the private group. I'm so sorry. Because we're going to make this for the members only because I'm doing credit report. I meant to make this. I don't know why I didn't. I meant to click members only. So click the join button, follow the prompts, and you'll be in here. See you in a second. So I hope, are you all still here? Oh, shoot. Peace and blessings. You're excited to catch a live. That's good. Do we have any Rich Rising sending you love? You know what? I probably should have kept that. You know what? Let me see if I could keep it private. If I can keep it public. Hold on for a minute. Just for a minute. So are you all here? Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising family, 47 people. So I'll do a brief report since some people have joined, but this group is really supposed to be for members only, and I forgot to choose members only. So members, private members, if you are here, I'm going to do a brief report, and then we're going to have a private membership group meeting. So come on in. Rich Rising to everybody that's joining the live. Your funds are not funding right now. Okay, we'll do a brief report, but then I really have to do something specific to the private members. Okay, so we're going to do a brief report for everybody, and yeah, everybody's still here. And then we're going to, after we do a brief report, you have to follow me over to the private group in order to get details on how to work with your credit. Okay, I used to be a credit repair specialist. I was trained by a top credit repair gentleman who was out of Atlanta. He has a huge company. He's actually has a nice national credit repair company. Come on in. All right. And then I was also trained by a national credit repair company that a lot of people are trained by, like hundreds of thousands. And I was registered. I had my company registered here in America. So I did credit repair for some years and help people get houses and cars and just, get a lot of land and things that they desired. But I will say that I don't do credit repair as a business or as an individual at all anymore. But for my private group members, I am going to show them how to repair their credit, how to get collections off their credit reports, how to get judgments off their credit report. And I'm going to teach them how to manage their credit and how to manage debt and help them to see what credit companies are looking for. Now, I know that a lot of people don't like credit, and we don't like to play the credit game. Credit is really not constitutional. Reporting how we're managing our credit and so-called debt is not constitutional, because actually you are supposed to have and we all do have a trust that's attached to our birth certificate funds as well as other wealth. And when we get leases, houses, or whatever, any type of living expenses were supposed to come out of our trust fund that's attached to our birth certificate bond. So everybody that was born in a hospital has a birth certificate bond. And most people, if they don't have that, they at least have a social security number, and your social security number is attached to one of the Federal Reserve central banking systems. There are funds in the amounts of hundreds of thousands and most likely millions of dollars for each of you, not only in America, but all across the globe. Some people have been accessing all of our funds or our credits in order to build themselves up, in order to have commercial real estate, in order to build the highways and the roads. These beings that are in power have themselves accessed all of our birth certificate bonds, which is in a trust. So everybody, we're all trust fund babies, but they didn't tell us that. So they're not supposed to be forcing us to take out debt, to take out loans for student loans, for education, to take out loans to buy a home or a car or for anything, but they do. And then they make us sign a promissory note. And at the bottom of that note, when you sign it, you and I are giving them power of attorney to access our trust. And then they access our trust to pay themselves off. And then they'll tell you owe them with interest rates. That is against the constitution for our country, and it's the constitution for republics all across the world. So this is something that is being remedied, but in the meantime, in the interim, we are still forced to some extent to get credit, to use credit. Okay. But in reality, you are the creditor and they are the lender or the borrower. However, while we're living in this matrix system, I am going to show you all, I'm going to show you all how to use the credit system for your benefit. Because some people need a house, they need a mortgage loan in order to buy a house. Some people need to get a car right now before this system changes over. There are many people that are trying to rent. And what's happening is these companies, major companies, have bought up homes after they kicked us out or forced us out because we couldn't afford them. These major companies have monopolized the market, bought up a bunch of homes here in America and all across the globe. And it's just a few companies that own these homes, all this real estate property. And when they own the homes, they didn't even do any renovations. And if they did, it was just a little bit. And then they put up the rent prices so high that we can't afford to rent property, okay, in our own countries, our own communities, our own neighborhoods. And they did this so that they can put their friends in the homes, or so they can see us suffer, because they don't care about us suffering. So not only did they own up the homes or claim all the homes, but then they manage the homes as well. So they own the homes, they have a management company, their buddies, if they don't manage the homes, that manages all the homes, and they make everybody pay rent through Rent Cafe and other platforms. So almost all of the homes in this country are owned by just like 5 or 6 major companies. And then they manage those homes and they own them, or they'll contract out to large management companies that monopolize. So now you can't manage your own property. You don't own your own property. And if you pay the rent, you pay into a large company like Rent Cafe. No longer do you have landlords that are personable, that you know. I'm speaking in generalities because you might have a few. And then you can say, hey, I'm not able to pay my rent. I lost my job, and they will work with you, because humans don't mind working with you, right? They'll be, okay, well, if you can't pay on the 1st, just pay me between the 1st and the 5th. Most humans they have feelings, and they'll say, we'll work with you. And if you can't pay on the 5th, just make sure you give me something. That's how it used to be back in the day. Or make sure um, we work out a deal. Well, that's not happening anymore. And so now what you see is, in order to get a house or an apartment, you have to apply to these large real estate companies, the large um, landlords or companies or management companies that don't care about you, and they want you to have a certain credit score. Now, it used to be a time where people would work with you and say, oh, if you don't have a credit score that's like this or that, that's okay. I'll work with you because you're a good person, or I'll work with you because you sent me a reference letter. But these companies don't care anything about you. All they want to know is, do you have a certain credit score? Do you have a 650, 700, 750 credit score? And if you don't, they don't give it to you, but they'll give it to their buddies, or they'll give it to these rich foreign nationals that come over here already rich, and they'll give the properties to them and let them rent it, right? Because they have the funds and they have some type of fake credit score. Or they'll give it to whoever the major corporations in the United States, corporate entity, the government contracts to come here. So the government goes out, they recruit people to come to America. They give them jobs through the H-1B visas and other work visas and humanitarian visas. And then they will say, we have a place for you to stay. And all that property that they bought up from the American people that's now owned by these big corporations are now available for the foreign nationals and these corporate entities and their buddies. They don't have to have a credit score. They can just have money. You and I have to have a credit score, and it needs to be 650, 680, 700. But what if you missed a payment paying on a bill, or you've got behind, or you lost a job? Then your credit report suffers, right? Well, so you might say, well, this particular house or apartment that I need to rent, they might say no, but I'll go to somewhere across the state, or across the city, across the community. Maybe they'll give me a chance. No, they won't, because they all use the same place to vet you. So when you apply, you don't know that your application from yesterday, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, of every place you apply for is all in their database. So they can see that you were rejected or denied credit in the past. So the same company will reject you because they're all looking at the same reports. I hope I'm making myself clear. The monopoly, they've monopolized on the commercial property, they have monopolized on the real estate property, and only 5 or so major companies have bought up all the houses, and they're managing all the houses, and they're watching what your credit looks like. So my purpose here today, Peace Family, is to, yes, and some of those apartments are falling apart. Yes, I'm still going to do the private channel in just a minute. Let me see if it's still running. My purpose here today is to help as many people with their credit as possible. Okay. But my purpose was only to help people in the private group, but I think I might have accidentally gone live in the public. Oh, let me see. Yep. I've accidentally gone live in the public. So since we're public, I'm going to go on and show you something, and then I need to go to the private group, okay? Beautiful day. Basically, what I want you to know, and this is only if you're interested, we know credit is going away, okay? We know that they don't have a right to force us to participate in their credit system, but they do. What I'm going to show you today is a pie chart. If I could find it up here, of how your credit is determined. And then I need to go to the private group. Just 1 minute. Let me see. I hope I have this. Dang. Hold on. Credit pie chart. Let me show you something. This is important for you to know because you may not be aware of this, family. Look at this. When it comes to your credit report, Know that there are three credit report companies. One of them are not even in America. The headquarters is not even America. TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. What they're looking at is your 35% of your credit is payment history. 10% is the types of credit, the different types of it, whether it's an installment loan, revolving loan, etc. 10% is new credit. 15% is the length of credit, how long have you had credit, and then 30% of your credit report is the amounts owed. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about in the private group. Please forgive me if I meant to, this report was supposed to be the private group section, but it is not. So keep talking in the chat and I'm going to give you a new link for the private group. Do you have any questions before I give you the new link for the private group? I don't know when credit is going to go away, family. I wish I did. Give me a minute. I'm going to play some music so I can set this private group up. Okay. But I'm just going to play the introductory song. And you guys can ask me questions in the meantime before we go to the private group. Just 1 minute. I need a second. I'll be back in 1 second. 1 minute.
Dr. Kia shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day.
Give me a few minutes, family.
Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do.
1 minute, family. Working on something. There we go.
Dr. Kia Pre, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel,
All right.
knowledge
Okay.
flows, breaking
Breaking
chains that
chains.
hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free
All right,
themselves.
family. Okay, so I just needed to go ahead and make that link for the private membership group. I apologize, family. I meant to make this meeting was supposed to be for the private group, but I made it public accidentally. So I apologize for that. What we're going to talk about today in the private group is we're going to do a gold report to let everybody know what's going on in the gold and silver markets, so the precious metals markets. We're going to talk about what's happening in Iraq right now, because there was an announcement that was made that's very significant in terms of knowing that Iraq is now in compliance fully with America. We know that the Iraqi prime minister is slated to come to meet with President Donald Trump here this month in July. So that the move that they just made is very important, so that now when the new prime minister meets with President Donald Trump, they can solidify some deals. Now, what I will tell you is that the new prime minister in Iraq has a business degree. He is not a politician, he's an entrepreneur. So he understands, and an ex-banker. So he understands finances, economic policies, banking policies, how to manage risk aversions, how to make sure that banks are compliant. So this is why it is very significant that this new prime minister in Iraq was put in place. He has a financial background and a banking background and a business background, and he's been reaching out to businesses and businessmen and women, not only in the country of Iraq, but here in America and abroad, telling them to come back home. And he's also made sure that now when the businessmen and women come back home, they know that Iraq's government, hold on 1 minute, that the Iraq's government will work in partnership with the entrepreneurial sector. So now they're working as partners and not necessarily as the government being over Iraq. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in the private group, as well again as the gold membership. I mean, as what's going on in the gold markets. And we will talk about how President Trump is managing the currency revaluations. He had said years ago that he was concerned about currency devaluations. And he said, regarding currency devaluations, I've been concerned about that for a long time. But what I am going to do is make sure I put policies in place to ensure that there's a level playing field between all the countries. And we know what he's done to ensure that the countries are now on the level playing field. If you watch my public podcast from yesterday, I talked about how countries all across the globe have unveiled their new currency. So I encourage you to look at that. And if you're interested to watch more of that or more information regarding currency revaluations, regarding President Trump ensuring that all countries, are now on a level playing field, then watch my private group membership podcast that we're going to have in just a few minutes. Also, I'm going to take some time out to help people with their credit. Now, I showed you the pie chart of how credit reports or credit companies look at your credit. But I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to show you how to negate any negative items on your credit report so they can come out of collections. I'm going to show you how to manage your credit, which percentage of your credit deals with revolving credit accounts and how you're supposed to keep your credit cards under a certain balance. All that, we're going to do that on a private membership group. So I'm not going to do that there. But for our private membership group, let me show you, hold on 1 minute, what we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. You can ask me some questions until we do that, because that private membership group meeting will be at 11:45. See, hold on, I'm setting it up for you. Okay, let me see. And we're going to do a podcast with our public group, with everybody here that's on YouTube later, okay? And we're going to talk more about what's going on in the global financial landscape and here in America. But I really wanted to talk about Iraq in a private group, and I want to talk about precious metals as well as how to help you all with your credit report. Now, I know that you guys are like, if we're supposed to, not have credit, right? If you're saying that credit will go away because it's unlawful, why are you talking about credit? And the reason why I'm going to talk about credit and how to manage your debt, because I had personal experiences where when my husband passed away, I just kind of like let things go. I'm just going to be honest. Some a little self-disclosure. I was trying to manage the bills, manage my husband, but then, not only did I working, and then, we accumulated a lot of debt and stuff from taking care of him, his medical expenses, and trying to take care of him because he was very sick for many years. So I was trying to pay off my credit, pay it down and pay off my bills and manage my credit, but I just got behind. And since I got behind, I wasn't able to do everything I needed to do. Like I wasn't able to get the new car that I needed. I wasn't able to move, because like I said, the same company that bought up all of the real estate, they all, when you apply for certain things, not only can they see your credit report, they can see your rejections. So I had to pull some tricks, pull out some tricks that, and they're completely legal. Okay. And I had to work some things. And now I'm able to, I was able to get a car for myself. I got my son a car, with just cash, but I got mine on credit, and I was able to move. And I'll be able to buy land in just a few months because I was able to get my credit together. Okay. But I was in a bad way, even though I was making decent money, because my credit report was not A1. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that your credit report will look like A1 right away, but I can guarantee you that within 30 days, some things will be removed from your credit report, because according to their rules, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, Section 609, says that if a credit or company or a lender cannot provide you with the original contract and your wet ink signature, then then they have to remove whatever negative report or negative item is on your credit report. They have to completely remove it from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, because they don't have the original contract. When whatever contract you signed, or whatever power of attorney contract you signed, saying, yes, I'm going to take out this loan for a house or student loans or whatever, when these companies sell the debt, they don't sell that original contract. So you will say in a letter certain things, And they have to prove it that this contract was something that you signed with your wet ink signature, and they only have 30 days to prove it. And if they don't, they have to completely remove it from your credit report. So those are some things that we're going to talk about in our private group. And I know I'm now, I've been saying that a couple times, but I just want you to know that this is their rule. This is something they have to do, and they do comply with it. And again, that's all they have is 30 days to do it. Okay. And I'll take your questions before we go into the private group. Let me show you the private group. I apologize for some confusion. This is a public group meeting right now, but I'll show you the private group meeting. It will be right here. This is what it looks like. So if you want help with your credit report, and you don't have to give me any specifics, you can give me some suggestions or ideas about what your credit report looks like. You don't have to be on the camera or anything. Then we'll work through that after we give our brief report. So that's what it looks like. And I'll put the link in the chat for you. Free Jeff Ford. I don't know who Jeff Ford is, but okay. I don't go, I don't do this whole free this person or that person if I don't know them, their family, their personal background, or what they were incarcerated for. Because some people can come online and tell everybody to let's free this particular person, and they could be sent in by the FBI to try to get some criminal out of prison onto the streets. So this is why I don't do those hashtag free anybody that I don't know personally. Any questions before we go to the private group? Here's the private group link. And we're going to start that in 7 minutes. I'll come back to the public and do a report, a geopolitical report. I'm just looking for any questions before I go to the private group. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. What'd you say? They done went to buffet. What's that mean? Or Buffett? You excited to catch a live? Awesome. Awesome. I'm just seeing if anybody has a question. In our private group, family, if you're a private group member, we're going to discuss credit. But next week, we're going to discuss other ways of accumulating wealth or becoming wealthy. I'm going to have financial advisors to come to our private group, okay, to talk about wealth management, secrets that the rich use. What else are we going to do? Other methods of accumulating wealth. I just say it like that, other than investing in gold. Like we might talk about investing in the stock market, but these are going to be certified financial advisors that will come into the private group on next week. Yes, I'm still going to stem the private group meeting in 5 minutes. Okay. When is credit going away? I don't know, but I sure wish it would. I know President Donald Trump is attacking the credit companies, and I know that the federal entity that manages or oversees the credit companies has been dismantled. So it should be soon. You're not in a private group, you don't have those funds right now. Okay, we provide as much information as we can, though, in this and on the public page, and we in the community section often leave information. Like it might not be a link to a full live, but it'll be some of the notes from the membership group without giving away all the information. So I provide a whole lot of information for you all in the public. But if you get the funds and you're able to join the private group, please do, because private group members say it's very beneficial. So I see we have somebody says with the divine, thank you. Adrian says there's no accidents here, Dr. Pruitt. It was divine intervention and we accept it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I see we have a new group, a new member. Hi, Spiritual Gifts. It's so good to have you. Welcome. Welcome to the private group. I'll stay here for a minute. I'm so happy to have you, spiritual gifts. Thanks for the link, but don't have the funds right now. Okay, you're welcome. You sending me something? Okay, thank you, Faith Ministry. I appreciate that. Okay, let me see what else we have. I have to go in a minute, family, to the private group. Hello. What'd you say? Collection agencies are still frauding you. You're in bankruptcy, and the collection agency is trying to collect on an account that was included in your bankruptcy. They can't do that. I would talk to your bankruptcy attorney and make sure he or she included that particular company that's trying to collect and ask him or her how to work around it. Now, let me tell you, family, filing for bankruptcy, people will try to talk you against that, but that can really be helpful and it won't stop you from getting credit. What happens as soon as you file for bankruptcy, all those things, the credit collectors are not supposed to be able to come after you, and you will start getting different offers for more credit because they know you can't use the new credit that you'll get in the old bankruptcy. So, and I'm going to teach a private group how not only will you can get new credit, but how you can do it a smart way to get credit a smart way while you're actually using your own money to help you get credit. Okay, but you have to join a private group. But if you've been following me for some time or you look through my posts, you'll find that information. Your credit report shows your vehicle was paid off and you don't know how. It's because Nasara and Jasara are actually happening. People are reporting that their student loans are paid off, their automobile loans, their houses loans are paid, house loans are paid, mortgages are paid off in full because they're rolling out not only Nasara and Jasara, but very soon they're rolling out universal high income where everybody will get a certain amount of money into their accounts to live off of. And the reason why they're doing this is because AI is taking over so many jobs. With AI taking over a lot of jobs, people don't have money coming in, but that will produce an abundance of wealth with AI taking up jobs, high productivity. So the remedy for that is to give everybody a certain amount of money per month, like tens of thousands of dollars. And it would be called universal high income. It's not universal basic income, which, that is something that's the old way of doing things, where you provide people just enough money to offset their basic needs. They have that. That's happening right now. And that universal basic income that some states were giving to people was like, it was a template for them or experiment for them to see how the economy would run and individuals would work with an income or an allotment of money coming to them per month. Now, some countries already do universal high income. Oil-rich countries do give high universal high income, meaning they give them a certain amount of money every month. And those countries, the individuals there are wealthy, mostly like Middle Eastern countries. They're still wealthy, even in the middle of war. They give them a certain amount of money every month. They have free education, free health care, because they all have trusts called a sovereign wealth fund. When President Trump came back in 2025, he created the sovereign wealth fund comprised of real estate, stocks, bonds, precious metals, rare earth minerals, tariffs and taxes, trade deals and agreements between other nations, all the money that they gave Trump in return for him brokering trillions of dollars of tax deals in the Middle East, trillions of dollars of tax deals between America and China, that went into a sovereign wealth fund that he created in 2025. And when he did that, he said many other nations, if not all of them, have a sovereign wealth fund. Why does America not have one? Okay, because the reason they didn't, because they don't want us to be wealthy, and they were just taxing us and using us as chattel property to pay off their debt. And one of the ways they made us pay off their debt is through taxes. All of us, even the foreign nationals that they brought over here, they made them pay them tribute by paying taxes. So a lot of them said, well, I pay taxes. I'm a tax-paying citizen. Why do I have to go back home? Because you're chattel property of the United States Incorporated, just like everybody else. But everybody else except the ones that knew they were sovereign. But the United States Incorporated is now defunct. It's insolvent. It's going away. The government is closed. We're on a partial government shutdown. The government, United States Incorporated, is completely going away. So everybody that was granted citizenship status will now have to go back home and return to their homelands and live as as nationals. They're foreign nationals. You're really a foreign national if you're from another country. Citizenship is chattel property to pay off the United States government debt. That's it. And they gave you privileges and made you think you have rights. Privileges like voting for corporate CEOs that's still attached to the government or the corporation that no longer exists. So the foreign nationals have to go back home, and then the sovereign nationals here will remain. But the sovereign wealth fund will inject trillions of dollars into the global economy. It will offset all debt. And this is why some of you are seeing on your report automobile loans paid off, student loans paid off, or if it's not paid off, it's in forbearance. And it might even say in forbearance until 2029, because I know the reason why they did that is because the entities in power, like, we don't know if Donald Trump is still going to be here after his time is up. We don't know. We might get a new president here in 2029 or whenever the new president of the CEO corporation called the United States Incorporated is going to come in. Okay. So they might put your loans in forbearance, but we don't have time to play these games. In the meantime, you might need credit right away. So I want to help you when you go into the private group. No, that's right. Once you're in bankruptcy, they can't call you or take anything out of collections. That's wrong. You filed for bankruptcy during the scandemic. It wasn't the best decision you've ever made. Oh, it was one of the best decisions you ever made. People will try to guilt you out of that. But when you file for bankruptcy, it's a relief, right? You're saying, I can't pay the debt anymore. It gets charged off and they pay themselves anyway, right out of your birth certificate bond that's attached to your trust. Okay, so don't let anybody try to make you feel guilty. It's a relief. And everybody that's saying, well, if people say, well, I paid off my debt, why can't you? The people that pay off their debt is awesome. The good news is you're supposed to have that money returned back to you. All the debt you ever paid, all the taxes you ever paid, everything you have, mortgage money, rent, all that is going to be given right back to you when you have access to your trust, when the sovereign wealth fund goes into effect, when the trillions of dollars goes into the global economy, and they will, when all of that is going to be offset. You're going to be repaid. But if you cannot pay off your debt, there are bankruptcies that you can file, or there are ways you can get those negative reports taken off of your credit report. I'm going to teach you that if you drive to private, once you join a private group. And I think this is it right here. This is the link. So this person, Goddess, is saying it's one of the best decisions I ever made because you still get credit. They still send you all the car loan lending companies, they'll be sending you letters asking you to take out a new loan. Credit card companies I'm telling you, the moment it hits your report that you filed bankruptcy, all these companies will start asking you for credit, to get credit from them again. Be careful though, because they don't mind and they don't care about you racking up more debt. Okay, so be mindful. And you should also be taking a credit management class and a money management class before you do the bankruptcy. So once you file for bankruptcy, your attorney should be encouraging you to do a free class. It comes with the $10,000, $1,000, $1,500, however much it costs to file for bankruptcy. A part of that should be credit management class, money management class, budgeting class. And it's just an online course. Once you finish it, then they'll complete that bankruptcy process. It doesn't stop you from getting credit, but it does go on your report for 10 years. Okay. So sometimes it's a good decision. You're from the Americas. Awesome. Hey, sister. Hi, Sister Janine. I meant to make this group private, but it was public. So I said it was an accident. Somebody said, no accidents here. Hit the like button, family. Thank you. Thank you for putting my Cash App up. If anybody wants to send a donation, it's $Mama Kia 13. So let's go over to the private group. it's going to be, let me make sure I got the right one. I'm going to help you with your credit. If anybody has issues with their credit, we're all going to help each other with the credit. And we're going to do a brief report on what's going on in gold, in the gold sector, what's going on in Iraq as well. And let me show you that private group link here. Anything else, family, before we go to the private group? We might have special guests too, because I invited gentlemen that have been in the foreign currency business. When I mean people that have been collecting currencies for a long time and it's been in this community, I've invited a few of them to come to the group to encourage them and to give any intel and information, because some of the people that have been in the currency community for a long time, been collecting currencies and waiting for the currency revaluation, are also a part of other private groups, and they're part of groups with millionaires and billionaires. Okay, so they know that this will happen and they've seen it happen before. So if they come to the private group that we're going to have today, they'll share a little bit of intel. And again, we're going to talk about what's going on in Iraq, what's going on in the markets, and we're going to help you with credit. So this was a divine accident, according to Sister Joyce. I appreciate you, family. Make sure you join the private group if you're interested. And we're going to be there to help each other, okay? And this is what that private group link looks like. That's what the show looks like. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I know this wasn't long, but I hope I said something that was informational. Oh, let's see. What does it mean when the flag is low? They call it half mast, do they? Thank you for letting us know. Let me see. I'm going to look it up. Yep. Half staff or half mast. Thank you for who's in this, y'all? Ooh, Chief Mac. Chief Mac, greetings, Chief Mac. We're gonna have a private group meeting in a minute, Chief, and I'm gonna send you that link. But look at what somebody just asked. Chief Mac and Soul Tribe. Hi, Kay Harris. What does it mean when the flag is low? My local firehouse flag is the lowest I've ever seen. Okay, now let's look it up. If we have any military people in the room or anybody that knows anything about this, please let us know. You can either tell us in the comment section or we'll send you a link and you can tell us right quick. Let me see. Like you said, this was a divine accident, right? Because I tried to make this group private. And I thought we were private. And then I started seeing all these people come in the room. I was like, we don't usually have this many people that come live on a private group. We have like almost 300 people, members in a private group, but we usually don't see like 150 show up at the same time. So I was like, oh, I accidentally made this public. But the private group link is in the comment section, okay, if you want to join that link. Here it is. When a flag is flown in a lowered position known as half staff or half, when a flag is flown in a lowered position known as half staff on land or half mast on a ship, it is a solemn international symbol of mourning, respect, or national distress. Flags are typically lowered on the death of a prominent government official. Oh my God. During national tragedies or on designated memorial days. Now, the 4th of July is supposed to be a time of celebration. That's in 2 days. That's supposed to be a commemoration of our independence, of the United States of America's independence from the British Crown, right? So it's not supposed to be a time of mourning. It's supposed to be celebration. And this is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and America's independence from the British Crown. So why are people seeing, or have you seen something that's half staff? Hope we're not going to have a mourning or distress signal. Now we know that the Senate is fighting against President Donald Trump in terms of passing the Save America Act. And the Save America Act is supposed to protect us from illegal and unlawful aliens or foreign nationals that are on our land. And that Save America Act says that you must present proof that you're a United States citizen or a sovereign person, but United States citizen in order to vote. The other day, President Donald Trump said, I'm not signing anything. I'm not conducting any news, press reports until you pass this Save America Act. It passed the House, but the Senate was holding it up. And not only was the Senate holding it up, but you had NGOs, non-government organizations like the 501c3s, the NAACP, and these other organizations to say, we're going to fight against President Donald Trump. We're going to have more protests, no King's rallies, because we don't like the fact that President Trump is forcing everybody to show ID in order to vote. Now you have to have ID in order to drive or travel. You have to have ID to buy liquor at the liquor store, sometimes to buy cigarettes. You have to have ID if you want a fishing license, a marriage license, another license. Well, how come you don't need an ID in order to vote? President Trump says this is a way we can protect our great country, ensuring that you have our best interests at heart, that you've gone through the proper procedures to declare that you're a United States citizen here. And if you don't want to do that, but still vote, then you must be voting for a party that doesn't have the Americans' best interests at heart. And most recently, that has been the Democratic Party. So the Democrats are pushing back. Some foreign national groups that are on our lands are pushing back. The non-government entities or organizations, the NGOs, are pushing back. The 501c3, certain churches, certain entities like the NAACP. Why are they all fighting back when they have a 501c3? Okay, they're still getting orders from the government. They're not really non-governmental agencies or organizations. That's pretense. There's no separation of church and state for real. Okay, so why are they pretending? And why is the NAACP saying immigrants or foreign nationals don't have to prove that they're United States citizens in order to vote? Why do they always throw so-called Black people or colored people in whatever the Democratic Party is doing? And you know what the backlash is saying, what the Democratic Party is saying? We can't force immigrants or foreign nationals to prove they're a United States citizen in order to vote. That will hurt minorities. That'll hurt the Black folks is what they're saying, because they don't always have their documents. First of all, don't call us Black and minority, because we're not. We're indigenous. Secondly, how dare you offend us? How dare you speak to us that way? Or speak to the world that way and say, we don't know how to present documents and we don't have the documents. So they're saying that to get people emotionally involved in the NAACP, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, so they can stage a coup d'etat against we, the American people. Now, if that Save American Act passes, some people saying they will give President Trump unlimited powers to do whatever he wants to do. I say if it doesn't pass, he could release the National Guard, because the National Guard really is already here on our lands, right? That's just the military. He can go ahead and send them their orders. Now, we remember in September before he shut down the government in 2025, he met with the National Guard. He met with military generals from all over the world. What did he say? One of the first things he said is, this looks like central casting. I remember that. But he released them before he shut down the government. Why am I bringing this up? Because whether the Save America Act passes or not, we know that could release the emergency broadcast system announcement. And that could cause something very, very serious to happen. Is this why one of our Soul Tribe members saw the flag low at a government office? I don't know. I pray to God this doesn't mean that some official is about to be unalived, especially if they're a benevolent official. But that's what you're reporting, and we appreciate you letting us know, because now we know to be proactive. We know that it's serious. We already had Farmer Dre, who was a former military vet, a former military officer who is a vet, to come on and say they could shut down the world if things get out of control. And he also said that if it's chaotic, the National Guard can bring peace out of chaos. He also confirmed with me, because I asked them, can they not only issue out an emergency broadcast system announcement, but can they make a curfew, or not only initiate a curfew, but enforce a curfew? And he said, yes, the National Guard and military can back President Donald Trump in a presidential EBS, or the emergency broadcast system announcement, or emergency broadcast alert announcement, and they can initiate and enforce a curfew saying everybody has to be in at a certain time. I'm in agreement with you all. This podcast that I'm doing right now was supposed to be done because I thought this was the private group, but I accidentally hit public instead of memberships only. So thank you for saying you saw the flag lowered. Again, when you see a flag lowered in a position as half staff on land or half mast on a ship, it's a solemn international symbol of mourning. The only time I could see them doing that is during Memorial Day, but that was May 30th-ish or May 27th. We're in July now. So it could be dealing with respect, but I don't know. Typically it's a symbol of mourning, respect, or national distress. Okay. Is typically upon death of a prominent government official during national tragedies or designated memorial days. Maybe they're commemorating something other than the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. This is also the 25th anniversary year of 9/11. So I'm not sure. The deep state is the Illuminati, the cabal, the bloodline families, the nefarious families that usurped authority from our lawful republic. But I can give you the official meaning of deep state. Okay, most people think that it's only conspiracy theorists that use that, but now more and more people are using it. So it's the bloodline families that are against us, that overtook our country by a coup d'etat. But this is the official definition. The deep state is an alleged concealed network, right? Something that people covert, hidden network of non-elected government officials. I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of people that's in Congress, in the House, serving us, are not serving us, they're serving the corporation. And a lot of people that are running the government, they weren't really elected. They were selected. Okay. We think that our elections matter. Maybe at the local level it does for the most part, but presidentially it doesn't really matter, because they have an electoral college and they really determine. You have a popular vote, then you have another vote. But the deep state is an alleged concealed network of non-elected government officials, military leaders, and intelligence agencies that operates extra legally to manipulate or control a country's state policy and governance from behind the scenes. These operatives are independent of its elected political leadership. So that's a very good question. The deep state has been in control of our government for a long time. And that is one of the real reasons why you saw people bum rush the House, or the Capitol, excuse me. When they bum rush the Capitol on J6, you have to know that the Capitol is the people's house. It was central casting. It was staged. The guards allowed them to come in, but notice that there was somebody dressed in indigenous garb that staked the totem pole. That was just an act to show us that the people were taking the house back, that the people was taking power back from the coup d'etat, because according to the military and according to military law and according to the republic, the Constitution for our republic, if a country or bloodline families or individuals overtakes your lawful republic, you can form a militia and go in and force those people out of power. So a lot of people don't know that because they don't know military law. I do have the books about that thick. So we've been under a coup d'etat by the deep state bloodline families that usurped authority from our lawful republic, and then they incorporated themselves in 1871 as a nonprofit religious organization with the Pope as the head. Okay. They have their own constitution called the Constitution of the United States Incorporated. Is not to be confused with the Constitution for our republic. That's the lawful Constitution. The Constitution for the United States Incorporated deals with legalities, statutes, codes, policies, what's legal. Okay, but what's legal is not lawful because the Constitution for the United States Incorporated has a CEO of the corporation. They call them presidents. President Donald Trump is the president and CEO of the United States Incorporated. And he's in charge of the military as well. But that's not to be confused with the lawful republic. The lawful republic has laws based on the Constitution for the republic. You have the Constitution of the United States Incorporated, fake, faux, treasonous, unlawful. Even the Supreme Court agreed with that and affirmed that in June of 2024. Then you have the republic, the Constitution for, of, nefarious, Constitution for, lawful. So people are saying, how can Trump get rid of legal immigrants? Because they're not lawful. We don't care if they're legal. Other people care. Other citizens care. We don't. Because what we're concerned about is what's lawful, what's according to our republic and the Constitution for our republic. So things that are legal will be done away with because the United States Incorporated that has statutes, codes, policies, and legalities, they're being dismantled. What's lawful is what matters. Tony says, I was just sent a video about Russell J. Gould. Can you send it to me? The Postmaster General, no one is just talking about. He captured the flag. I heard about that some years back. I remember that. Before it expired, the cabal found out and tortured, then released. Oh, I didn't know they tortured him. Tony, you're part of our private group too. Can you either send it to our private group email, which we don't give to the public, or just send it to kiapruitt@gmail.com. I heard about it, but I didn't see the video. Trump is against the deep state, which is why he's dismantling the government right now, because the government is the deep state. All right. Yes. You're welcome. You've been trying to research all this stuff yourself? It's the death of Babylon. Oh, thank you. Half Mass is the death of Babylon. Thank you. Good. That's good to know. The death of Babylon, the Illuminati, the deep state, the United States Incorporated. This is why Pope Francis, in his letter Motu Proprio, sent a letter to then President Obama and said, it's up. He said in that letter, all presidents he said, President Obama is not the president of the country. He's the president of a company called the United States Incorporated. All presidents must cease and desist. He said, all court officials must cease and desist. That means stand down. All government officials, CIA, FBI, IRS, all of those officials must stand down and cease and desist. They didn't. That was in 2014. 2024 was 10 years after that. That's when the Supreme Court says, okay, the government has unlimited powers. It was afforded them through what's called the Chevron Doctrine. We're going to overturn the Chevron Doctrine, and we're going to determine that the United States Incorporated is illegal, unlawful, and treasonous. And any judge that participated in the shenanigans of enforcing any of the statutes, codes, and policies of the United States Incorporated and any government officials or any government agencies, all those judges must cease and desist because they're unconstitutional, treasonous, and unlawful. That's why they're being arrested. And so they're treasonous. And any judge that knew of a judge that participated and didn't report it to the president committed misprision of treason. So you got judges and attorneys being arrested. You have FBI offices, IRS offices, and corporations, banks being raided. I did a whole video on raids, FBI raids, because President Donald Trump, who is working on behalf of we the people, is dismantling the government and taking down the deep state, which is the same thing. So you're going to see the flag half mast. Thank you, chat, for contributing to the conversation, because this is the death of Babylon. This is good news. I appreciate all the intel you're providing. Let me calm down. I'm a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much, Sister Adrian. Or I don't know if that's a sister or brother, but Adrian, thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate what you contribute to in the Soul Tribe. You all contribute. Okay, we got to get to, yes, we got to get to that private group. This is all prophecy, and Trump is chosen exactly by the Most High and by the military. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me go ahead and put the private membership group back up, the link. And if you decide to join us to talk about how to get out of debt or how to navigate credit, then come on over and join us. Or if you just want to come over there to see what's going on in Iraq, how we know we're very close to the foreign currency exchange, come on over in the private group member meeting. And let me see what else. We're going to do a gold report as well. Chief Mac, if you're still here, I'm going to send you that link to the private group, but I don't know if you have something to say, and you're more than willing to come on and say something before we go to the private group. Does anybody else have any contributions or questions before we go to the private group membership meeting? You said, look at the death toll in Europe. I didn't know there was a death toll in Europe. Chief, I sent you a link if you want to come on. There's a death toll going on in Europe. Let me see. In Europe. There's a heat wave. When I just clicked, oh my gosh. There's a, ooh. Do y'all know what I'm thinking? I'm looking at the death toll. I had no idea about the heat wave. Let me tell you something. We've been saying this for a long time, that the sun was going to activate some and unalive others. We've been saying that for a long time. Thank you. You say you love the colors I'm wearing today. Thank you. You say you look marvelous, darling. Thank you, sister. I don't even know what to say because you want to be careful. So that's what's happening. The sun activates some and it attacks others. The more melanin you have, the greater chance of survival you have. This is why Hollywood, the same entities that was telling Caucasian, Europe, and European people not to marry so-called Black people and not to marry people with melanin, because allegedly we were the ones that had inferior genetics, and we were the ones that had recessive genetics. So don't marry and mix with us and stay away from us. Then they started doing a turnaround about 5 years ago. A lot of political leaders in Spain, Italy, and otherwise start commanding their people to marry the Africans that were coming to their landmass. And here in America, all these movies that were against so-called Black people start showing interracial relationships, showing Caucasians bring in and adopt Black children. Why? Because they knew that the newest race of beings had genetics that couldn't survive the sun. And they knew that the second sun, the third sun was coming. We have the sun in the inner earth, all that was coming out, but it was coming and it would purge the earth of anything that lacked melanin. This is science and prophecy, but it's also just natural. So those same beings in power that tried to make melanated people feel bad and say you ain't nothing but a bunch of slaves and your brain is smaller and you came from an animal, they weren't talking about us. We do, the melanated, highly melanated beings, indigenous people, have very little to no Neanderthal DNA. They weren't the ones born with tails. They weren't the ones with smaller brains. When they talked about in their policies that so-called Black Americans were 3/5 of the human being, they weren't talking about us. 3/5 of this and 3/5 of that, and you're not a whole person. Why do you think when this so-called person landed on the moon, they said this is something good for humanity, and then a giant step for humanity and a step for mankind? Let's see what he said. I was not going to speak on all this. I just want to help people with their credit. On July 20 of 1969, Apollo 11 commander Neil Armstrong became the first human being to walk on the moon, allegedly. As he stepped off the lunar lender's ladder, he famously proclaimed that's one small step for man and one giant step for mankind. Why? It's a small step for man. The natural man and woman, don't nobody care about you landing on no pathetic moon. We created the moon. My ancestors created the sun and the moon. Everything you see. That's why we come from all of this. They say we came from Sirius B. So you stepping on some mangy little moon means nothing to man. But it's a giant leap for mankind, the kind of a man. The newest race of beings are the Europeans. That's why they have a hard time in the sun. They have to have sunscreen. They need vitamin D. We produce vitamin D naturally. We produce a lot of things in our organs, which is why they had a whole campaign, these beings that enslaved the planet, to steal the organs and the blood from melanated people. They were harvesting the wombs of the melanated women. They were harvesting the organs of melanated people. That's why we have a lot of misdiagnosis here in America. That's why India sold millions of fake medical degrees to the Indians who are Dravidians. They're not us. Make it clear. Let's be clear. They're not the real Indians. We are the indigenous Americans. They're Dravidians. They're a whole nother race of beings. They allowed them to come to America on fake medical degrees. Millions were sold. We have 5.3 million Indians from East India, the continent of Asia. Many of them are on H-1B visas. They sold fake medical degrees to them and Chinese. Both of them come from the continent of Asia, to come over here and practice medicine on all of us. But who were the ones they really wanted? They wanted everybody, because everybody likely has a trace of melanin. But why do you think so-called African Americans, the indigenous people who are prisoners of war here, are the ones mainly misdiagnosed with cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and all the issues we have? Misdiagnosed. And even if we are properly diagnosed, they give us the poison. They give everybody the poison, but they really going after the melanated people, because they're not looking for mankind. They're looking for man. They want those organs. And all the ones they allowed to come over here that were practicing and committing malpractice are the ones President Donald Trump is going after. You have to read the report of how we just did a report of how he arrested and prosecuted several doctors. And he said in that report, you have to look on my video, one of my videos, he said, anybody that cheats or harms Americans, we will find you, hunt you down, freeze and seize your assets, and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. This is also why they're ending H-1B visas. A lot of these beings, whether it was known to them or unknown, what they were really doing in their misdiagnosis was attacking the American indigenous autogenous people here, misclassified as Black, colored, African Americans, right? They wanted our organs and they used them. Queen Elizabeth did the same thing in Canada. She and her posse went after indigenous Canadians. And they had their child hunting parties and they unalived them and they drank and ate their blood and their organs. And she was charged posthumously after her death for crimes against humanity. It just so happens that a little boy escaped and he told on her. Okay. And then he went missing. Why do you think in Australia they have Aboriginals that's still dark? But many of them have been unalived. Every single Aboriginal being all across the planet is heavily melanated, meaning they're copper color, whether it's on the low range of copper, being brown or light complected, but still having melanin, or on the other end of being dark. They unalive as many of us as they can in order for themselves to live. I'm talking about the beings in power. And they use the new race of beings to colonize us. And the new race of beings, some of them didn't even want to do it. But what you do is you bring them into America and to other places, and you give them benefits called privileges, and you allow them to vote. You give them government aid like welfare and food stamps. You give them nice houses. You let them fake buy land, but you don't give them the real title to the land after you will have stolen it from the indigenous people. And then these people all feel entitled, whether it's the new race of beings that was created out of the Caucasus Mountains or pushed into the Caucasus Mountains, or it's the foreign nationals that are on our lands. You know, remember when President Donald Trump said some of these countries from which they come are shithole countries? And people say, you can't call these countries shithole countries. How dare you, President Trump? You're xenophobic. You're a racist. Well, now that we're saying everybody has to go back home, all these foreign nationals, they're like, I can't go back home. It's a shithole country. Well, wait a minute. Which is it? Is it that you eat mud pies and your sewers are bad? We're really heartbroken about that. And trash is all over the place and it's war torn? Or is it that Donald Trump is a racist or narcissistic or he has something against you? Which one is it? Are you eating mud pies or not? Are you eating broom and things that come from mops or not? Are you infighting within your country or not? Because what we see now is that all of these countries that were having conflict and civil war, they're now at peace. And all the information, the education you got here on your F1 visa, student visas to come to America, and you got all this learning, this education, you overstayed your visa, all the education you got, now you can go back home and you can clean it up. You can rebuild the infrastructure. I'm not even trying to be facetious. It's the truth. Now, all the privileges you got through the United States Incorporated as a United States citizen, you can take that money, you can take that information, that knowledge. You know how people came over here and said they work harder than Americans. We're lazy, especially them darn Black folks. They need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Keep that same energy now that you're going back home. I'm really happy for them because now they can make it great. But let's get back to what's going on in Europe. I'm really sad to hear this. They need to do what their leaders been telling them to do and save their bloodline by intermarrying, not by raping anybody, but by intermarrying if they want to be saved. Because you got people classified as Black that wants to marry and looking for opportunities to marry outside of their ethnicity, their nationality, or outside their income bracket. So they will get somebody from Europe. And hey, who am I to say anything? That's why a bunch of foreign nationals come here. They want to make their economic condition better. So there are people that are willing to contribute to science and willing to contribute to the health and well-being of people that have a less amount of melanin than those that have a higher amount of melanin, and they will intermarry. Presidents have been saying that for a long time. And before President Donald Trump came on, you had a lot of what do you call these guys? They were called rednecks that were like, oh my golly, our population is dying. We better do something here. Because the Negroes, they're outpacing us and the whole world is turning black and brown. We better do something. And I was like, well, instead of them saying you better do, you ain't gonna be able to kill off all the brown people. Okay, but if you really want to save your race, your so-called race, intermarry. I mean, why not? Somebody will contribute to helping you to stay on the planet. because the sun is only getting hotter. But I brought this up because this is why Neil Armstrong said when he allegedly landed on the moon, which people are saying he really didn't, that's one small step for man. They included a man. No, for man, the natural beings on the planet. Okay, we don't care about you landing on some mangy moon. We created it. We lived there before. We lived all over the place. Our ancestors did. But it's a giant leap for a kind of a man, because the new race of beings had genetics from humanity and genetics from, some people say, the Neanderthal or animals mixed together, allegedly. It created in a lab, allegedly. And then you have NPCs, what you call it, NPCs, non-player characters, that were grown in a lab. They called them test tube babies. So I'm just telling you what's happening. Yeah, people from many countries have been here for years. Why haven't they built up their own countries? I don't know. Chief, I sent you a link. What are you saying, darling? I sent you a link if you want to come on, and we got to go on a private group soon. Sorry, private group. We're going to get over there. The new race of beings were brought here to America to infiltrate. That's right. They were brought here to infiltrate us, and they were brought here to take over. Interestingly enough, my granddaughter, she's 10, is reading a book. She's reading a series of books from Peru, and the Peruvian indigenous people are speaking out. And these are books for children. She was like, Granny, the Peruvians are saying the same thing you're saying. And she said, she read this paragraph to me. Let me see if I can find it. She said, oh my God, they're speaking out, and they're even putting it in children's book that the Peruvians want to take their land back. And they're commanding their land to be returned. And they're saying, even in the children's book, they lied and told us that we were gone, but we're still here. See if I can show her. See exactly what she said. She said, Mommy, she calls me Mommy, look what this book says. It says Europeans came from Spain to take our gold and to use our land. She said, and they tell everybody that we're gone, but we're not. We're still here. The indigenous people always find a way to survive. We are still here. I was like, girl, they're saying that in Peru and they're putting it in the children's book. You're right. It's exactly what I've been saying. We're still here. We didn't come from any slave ships. We're not going anywhere. But if the people that are new beings, the new beings that are here, they can go to colder climates. But it looks like even colder climates are hurting them if there's a high death toll in Europe. But this might be one of the reasons why we have Greenland and other places, some of the other colder places that we're bringing on up under our auspices, so that the new beings, I got to call my son back, can have a place to go if the sun continues to get hot. I had no idea about a death toll. Look at this in France. European heat wave death toll climbs as extreme temperatures grip the nations. France recorded 1,000 excess deaths during a heat wave. Europe's record heat wave shifts east. The death toll tops 1,300. And it's more articles here about a death toll in Europe. I had no idea until you all told me. I mean, I knew that the heat wave would come because, you know, if something is not natural, the sun will attack it. Natural things thrive in the sun. Plants, animals, insects. The insects even get bigger in the sun. The so-called roaches and insects that people have in the north, in the Midwest, baby, they 3 times, 4 times bigger here in Florida. And they fly. They fly. That goes along with what Chief Mack showed us, that when the sun heats up, Demelanated beings are going to be activated and they will start to fly again. Woo! So I wasn't supposed to talk about this. I was supposed to be talking. Thank you. Salute to my granddaughter. I was supposed to be talking about credit and credit repair. Salute to my granddaughter. You know, they're homeschooled. So my daughter took my grandchildren to the library, and they spoke to a librarian and told them what they're interested in, and she gave them books. So my granddaughter's interested in indigenous culture, and she's interested in fashion and beauty. My grandson is interested in what is it? Geography, geology, and what else? Foraging. He wants to have a farm. Oh my God, Florida is wild. The roaches fly. They get like this big and they literally fly. You be trying to kill them. And you know how you think a roach come in the house, you think, oh, they must be dirty now. No. Now, in Florida, they coming in, especially if it rains. We got swampland here. We got the sun that's extremely hot. And you try to kill one thing, you'll see them flying outside or climbing on the trees. And you try to swat it, it will fly at you, not away from you. I'm telling you, family, I almost said saints, they become activated in the sun. Welcome. Let's welcome Chief Mac to the stage. Hey, Chief Mac, welcome. Same with Texas. They get activated in the sun. Hey, Chief. Chief, I was only supposed to be talking about credit and do a gold report. I thought this was the private group. And then I saw hundreds of people here. I'm like, this is public. And they start dropping intel, and now here we are. So,
well, you let the spirit lead you the way you need to go and what you need to talk about. Be led by the spirit.
Yes, sir.
And we won't be having, those of us who have tapped in and made that investment, we won't be having to work for credit for much longer. I tell you that.
Yes, sir. That's
now,
right.
when you become the bank, by being the creditors and the lenders, and many of us are going to be the creditors and lenders. So I'm excited about that. But you talking about them roaches, man. When I came down south from up north, I got introduced to these bugs that the north don't have, man. I tell you, man. They got this one bug. It looks like a cricket and a spider mixed together. And
oh my God.
It looked like a small micro. Remember when the predator was fighting that other alien? It looked like that. It's smaller, but it got legs like a cricket. It looked like a spider and a cricket mixed together, and then the hops, and it takes big leaps and hops. I tell you, man, we haven't seen everything that's on this planet, man, and it's getting ready to be revealed. And in the coming months, a lot of things are going to be disclosed. That's why they got what we call disclosure. When it's disclosed, it's getting ready to come out, and people that's been really, people have been too indoctrinated to handle this. But I mean, you guys that's stuck in religion. I mean, y'all in for a doozy.
For real. Yeah.
Guys are in for a doozy, man. Because this world ain't nothing like they made it seem on television. That's the soul trap. Everything with these celebrities, these politicians, and they use Trump to say that central casting. That's what TV was made for, central casting. So people are in for a do. And I'm also here to say too, it's just in my spirit that the people that think they have ran the number on the righteous, that have betrayed the righteous, that thought they got over on the righteous. Your world is going to be flipped upside down. That's with my spirit. Because the righteous people didn't make any moves. They spoke to the ancestors. They gave it over to the Great Spirit. I meant to say that all frauds are getting ready to be discovered. All people who don't have true intentions for the righteous to win, but have been sent. You those of you that have been sent to be agents against our people, as if you love and care about our people, you get ready to be discovered. Those that operate in a righteous way, you get ready to be discovered because you're so proud that you think you're all powerful all by yourself, and we're not.
Mm.
Sickness could jump on and hit anybody at any given point. You wasn't sent here to be powerful all by yourself, and especially the times when the ancestors are showing themselves right now. That's why they came out with the CGI and these fake alien. Because when you see the real thing, they want you to think that
Mm.
it's CGI, it's fake. That's the whole purpose why they came out with AI. And so when you
Mm-hmm.
see actual real events, the people who are not tapped in won't be able to tell the difference.
Mm.
So they can mess around and put a celebrity on stage in real life, but people are gonna chalk it off. The one that you thought that transitioned past, they're gonna put them on stage and people are gonna chalk it off as AI. When you see one of these true disembodied spirits and things walking, people say, "Oh, that's not real. It's AI." And that's
Right.
what, you know what I'm saying. They're gonna chalk it off, and they send things of entity that's that he's a person in real life. They say, oh, that's AI, that's AI. And in that book, it said that there will be creatures at the last days of this kingdom that's going to come out of the depths of the ocean and stinging people. Who remember that when we were children? We heard that story. In the last
Yeah.
days, you don't remember that story?
I remember, and not only that, Chief, somebody in the crowd was saying that the sun is getting extremely hot, and this you probably saw it that people are dying in Europe. And didn't you just
That's
show us a movie that showed the sun was harming certain people, and they were running scared, like, no, no, it's the sun. And meanwhile, while some people were running from it, indigenous peoples were being activated and started flying.
people can't handle that, but the SUN was that all along was that
Mm.
savior and salvation.
What? Okay. So the
It,
SON is really the SUN. Come on.
no, the SON is the infiltration.
Okay. Okay.
The SON was actually the adversary, the character Lucifer in the Bible, claimed to be a savior, and he told the world that I'm going to get all the praise from you. I'm going to become an angel of light. And people not asking themselves, people are lazy, and you're gonna pay for being lazy. He said, I'm
Mm.
going to deceive the whole world by becoming an angel of light. So when
Mm.
it was no angel in heaven named Jesus, because the letter J is only about 300 or 400 years old. It's not even that old. So you
Mm.
have to ask yourself which angel, and this is what Christians do not want to do. They do not want to ask the strong opening questions for a closing answer. If there was no angel in
Mm.
heaven named Jesus, okay, then
No, in fact, mm.
I'm asking my dear Christian brothers and sisters, well, which angel was he in heaven? Because who was the closest angel in heaven to the Creator?
Lucifer.
He was the morning star, meaning he had stones inside him, and those stones were diamonds, right? And those
Yeah.
stones only lit up as when the Creator came into the presence of the adversary. The Creator is a ever burning light, a flame of fire, in a silhouette of a man. And when that presence came in front of Lucifer, those colors off those diamonds, bursting colors, which made him the most beautiful creation. Because didn't it say he
Mm.
was the most beautiful creation?
Mm.
So that's what made him. And so there was no angel in heaven named Jesus, and the closest so-called angel to the Creator was Lucifer. And then they
Mm.
say Lucifer and those 1/3 of the angels got kicked out of heaven.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
When they got
Mm-hmm.
kicked out of heaven, where did they go? Did they get sent to hell or they got sent to earth?
Earth.
So what does that make earth?
I ain't gonna say hell.
It is because and hell is just an allegorical made up name. What it
Mm.
is, they got sent down to a lower dimension from the
Mm.
higher dimension. And we're down here with them in the lower dimension. Is that fair to
Mm.
say?
Yeah. Yes.
So that hell is just a state of being. is just an allegorical name. Okay, we can't get caught in that hell and heaven
Mm,
crap because hell and
mm,
heaven is what you make it to be here on earth. And the
mm.
people who made it to heaven on earth don't want to deal with people who are still in hell in the mind, spirit, and soul. Okay, so all that stuff is made up. There would never be a savior to come and save you for nothing.
We
You
got to
have to
save
save yourself.
ourselves. Come on,
You have to
Chief.
save yourself. You got to save your damn self. Because if you wait on the Savior, then you're lazy. This is why some of the Christians are they live in the life of a sinner better than the sinners are.
My God, say that. Say that.
Oh, y'all better at being sinners than a sinner is being a sinner. Because why is that? Because the sinner, he sins has on. The Christians, you're hypocrites.
Oh, Chief.
How many Christians I know that sleeping with each other before they get married? How many sinners Christians out here sleeping with a man in their home with a baby girl, with a daughter, and you got a man jump up and down inside in your bed. You're not even married to him. What are you teaching your daughter? How many Christians you know that have hate, envy, malice, and jealousy in their heart, causing all kind of chaos? Religious people. And the same thing goes for these so-called spiritual people. You're wicked too.
Chief, can I interject just a minute? I remember I got a lot of information from the church. I was raised to be a good leader. I literally tried my best to live according to the Bible. And of course I made mistakes. I would say I would look around and I'd be like, if Jesus is our helper and God, and we're supposed to be worshiping God, why are so many of us obese? I'm serious. Why so many of us lack discipline when it comes to how much food we eat? Why are so many fat mothers and fathers, I'm just going to be honest, obese, like morbidly even obese? Why are so many people in debt? Why are so many people always crying and begging at the altar, begging God for help? Why are so many people homeless? I'm talking about in the church. Why are so many I'm looking around like every time you go have testimony service is always I'm sick, I got diabetes, the devil's defeating me, the devil, they talk about the devil more than God and Jesus. And I was like, something ain't right here. Something is not right here, and even the vibrations of the music in church, as much as I love music and church music, my husband was a musician, my children were music, something about the vibrations of the music would make my spirit feel kind of like low. But my son had to tell me that he was like, if you hit the 3 or y'all know numbers, certain tunes that we play in gospel music actually causes you to cry. And even the way the church is set up, where the pastor is above you, which I don't really have a problem with that, and the people are at the bottom. But when I would preach, I would come down and be among the pews with the people. I'm okay with separation, but just in the church, it was so much dismay, so much disease, so many financial problems. Why is that, Chief? If you have an answer, especially the black church. I don't know about other churches. Go ahead.
About 5 years ago, I had a Facebook young female. We were Facebook friends, and she said that she was invited to a shut-in.
Yeah.
You guys remember the shut-ins?
I do.
We had in church back in the 70s and 80s.
I do.
But to be honest, if you want to see some demonic spirits, just go to a shut-in.
Really?
You see the people growling, and they laying hands, and people growling, and demons come out of people, and people throwing up. Because a lot of times they throw up, and the spirit comes out of them. But and this is what I've been knowing for a while. She said, and this is why you have so many in leadership in that religion are part of these secret organizations. And y'all Christians are not asking these questions.
They really are.
Just going on. You got so many of these leadership are in these secret organizations.
They really are.
She said she was invited to a shut-in. And she said when she got there, she said it was an initiation party.
What?
She said that they prayed, they did everything the same that you do in the regular church, but they was going to open it up to some things. It was an initiation to get in this organization.
Oh my God.
They spoke in tongues, they laid hands, they did all that. but it was an initiation. And this is who's leading your Christianity.
mm, mm,
And y'all
mm.
Christians are y'all going to be in for a doozy. And I've been saying it so much, and it's going over your head, and you're willfully ignorant on purpose. And but I'm telling you guys that the levels are even deeper than that because your communion is a ritual
It's a
created
ritual.
by the reptilian race, eating
Mm-hmm.
flesh and drinking blood.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you so serious about your faith, then drink some real blood and eat some real flesh. See
Mm,
that from your so-called Christ, and they showed you in
mm,
that movie where that big so-called creature angel was like 10 feet tall, and
mm.
people drunk his blood, and they passed out. They've been telling you guys that ain't no savior coming to save you guys. And if you don't get it, you're gonna have a hard ass life. All you're gonna continue to do is repeat this lower dimensional. And you don't know how and what you're gonna come back as. And I'm not willing to roll those dice. And in fact,
Mm,
I was sent.
mm,
I came down here to be sent to the family that I've been sent to be that savior and salvation to my family, my bloodline, which I
mm.
am doing. Ain't no Jesus coming down to save you for nothing. Ain't no white Jesus coming to save you, and ain't no black Jesus coming to save you at all, period. And you can believe that all you want to, and in the word believe, you got to lie in it. Ain't no
Well,
Savior
Christ,
coming down to save you.
right?
Ain't
Because
no.
Christ, chief, Christ is just means anointed one. A Christ is an anointed one, a chosen one, a messenger. We're all Christ. Now, there may have been ascended masters or ancestors that lived on this planet that lived certain values according to certain value systems, but we all can be a messenger or the anointed one, the appointed one, the chosen ones. And I think that goes, surpasses what most religions teach us.
Christianity is actually dangerous for the mind. And why
Hmm.
is that?
Hmm.
Because it makes people who have done some evil and wicked things, um, it takes them out of feeling guilty.
Hmm.
But if you go out there and rape 10 people, or you murder 100 people, Christianity
Hmm.
said that you can be forgiven.
All you gotta do is say I'm sorry, and the Bible says my grace is sufficient for you.
Christian, you can eat the most abominable food, but it's okay. That's all you gotta do
Hmm.
is pray over it. And that's why so many people are in church with hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, morbidly obese, mentally, spiritually in bondage because of that damn religion. Because if you
Hmm.
stop worrying, think that somebody's supposed to come save you, and you take responsibility for your own action, and you become the victim, but being the victim, and give her the envy, hate, the malice, and jealousy out your heart, and clean up how you eat and have discipline. Christianity lacks discipline. It's the worst religion out of all of them. Why? Because it's the religion that lacks discipline. At least in Islam, they value discipline, but they
They
fucking
do.
lack the spirituality of it. But Christianity try to harp on spirituality, but they lack discipline. You know,
Woo. Mm.
come on now.
You telling
And
the
they both
truth.
the same. And in Islam, they got you thinking that you to have these 10 virgin wives, you got to lose this suit. And then to get these 10 virgin wives. And Christianity said you got to lose this suit, that live in overflow, to have these 10 to 15 mansions in
Mm.
heaven, you got to lose. But no, you're gonna have that now. And if you want to have 10 virgin wives, if you can take them all the same, that's you. That's up to you. You're gonna have it
Hmm.
now. So religion is a sham. It is a sham, and I'm sick of it.
Mm.
And you got people thinking that they're better than other people. If you don't think like a religious person, then you're supposed to love covers a multitude. And
It
if you were so
divides
sure about your,
families. It divides
yeah,
families too, Chief. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no doubt. That's not even talking about the Jehovah Witness. And to be honest, black folks couldn't even be, you couldn't even be a Jehovah Witness in the 60s and 70s.
Mm.
You couldn't be. Pull it up. I'm there. I'm well studied. Looking
Mm.
back in the 70s, how the Jehovah Witness faith was involved with child pornography and child abduction. Look it up. And then the guy, so-called white guy who came up with that religion was a Mason. He got his tombstone is that of a giant pyramid.
Same with the Mormon faith. They hated black people classified as
Yeah,
black.
man, yeah. And they use these so-called celebrities to bring
Mm.
y'all into these, and these deacons and bishops and pastors on TV that's pushed on TV. They're agents. They're agents. Why
And
is
the
TV?
ones in the churches, some of them, like you said, some of them are agents too, secret society members.
Uh,
Oh,
why
Chief,
is
I know
TD
what I
Jakes?
wanted to tell you before I forget. Please, may I interject? In the church world, as you know, there's a lot of grape that goes on, and with the pastors and the leaders, they groom the children, just like, and they talk about the Catholic Church with the priests. No, 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 no. It happens in Pentecostal churches, Baptist churches, non-denominational churches. I'm not saying, of course, all churches, but so I was an ordained evangelist in the church. I was an assistant pastor before in the church. I know prophets, and I taught pastors how to do outreach. Okay, I'm telling you that a lot of these pastors are sleeping with the children, and especially the little boys. And it not doesn't happen until these pastors die do these children come out and speak against what the pastors have been doing for decades. And when these children try to speak out, whether they're boys or girls, once they're adults, the people in the church will tell him, the man of God, you don't come against the man of God. The scripture says you don't bring a railing accusation against the man of God. The scripture says that you don't speak against the man of God. The scripture, and they would use the scripture to keep these children and these adults silent. And it would be the bishops, the leaders, the mothers, the fathers that knew these children were being raped, that would silence the members and tell them that it's against God to bring the courts or the law in against a person that molested their children. And they would be silent for a long time. And when they grow up, and it's not just mega churches, it happened it didn't happen in my local church, but in my organization, it happened in my 20s, where it came out that they had a daycare center at their church. They were molesting the children. Then it came out that one of the well-known prophets was sleeping with the men who, when he started out when he was a boy, when they were boys. It happened in a couple of churches. Chief, I don't know which
I'm gonna
one
lay
you
out
want.
something.
Huh?
Go ahead and finish it. I'm gonna lay out something. I'm gonna lay out a bombshell.
Okay, and forgive me, family. We are going to go to the private group. We just want to get this out. We need to wake up. I was just saying that when these children grow up and they try to tell it, everybody shuts them down. They say, "Well, the man of God is human, and how you can't bring a railing accusation against him, and that's for God to do. Let God judge him. We're not to judge him." And these pastors stay in their positions if they're still living. So I just want to tell you, and the pastors are sleeping with each other too. I found that out. I'm gonna yield to
Uh,
you. They sleep. Oh, one last thing. There was a guy who was a minister in my community. He started coming to our church. He used to tell me he was homosexual. He's like, "I love you, Kia, because you know my lifestyle and you still treat me the same." It's like, why would I treat you differently? Just that's who you choose to love is not my business. But he said, the reason why I love you is because I want to stop, but I can't, because I was molested by a pastor. And when I was a child, it was my appetite. He said, I'm fighting, I'm doing all my best. He said, but the best way I can expose this and I can get healed is to write a book. He wrote a book about it and exposed lots of pastors that were in Louisville, Kentucky, and outside in different Kentucky areas, who had wives at home, would go to the club at night, to the homosexual clubs, and sleep with the boys, the men, and the ministers, and the women, and the children. He exposed them, because if he didn't, he said the same men I would be sleeping with and that I saw at the gay bar on Saturday night was the same ones that was in the pulpit on Sunday morning preaching against me. And I was the one they were sleeping with from the time I was a child. We need to expose it, but people scared to talk about it because how dare you speak against the man of God? He's right next to God.
there's there's a guy. I got two. There's a guy. First of all, let me say this first. That was about 20, 18 to 20 years ago. I worked at this job. I worked this job in finance, and there was this guy. He was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And he and I, we sat in the same section.
Mm-hmm.
I don't judge people. I'm so far ahead. However you decide to live your life or whatever, that's your
It's
business,
on
man.
you. Mm-hmm.
I got gay people in transit in my family.
Mm-hmm.
How a person decides to live their lives, it's on them. I don't worry about other people's shit. Period. I don't hate gay people at all. Period. And the fact that ones in my family I love and I work with gay people that I was cool with.
Mm-hmm.
That's their life. As long as you can respect me and talk to me like a man, whether you're
Mm-hmm.
a gay woman or a man, as long as we can talk and you live your life on your own, I don't have a problem with you at all. So I don't have hate in my heart toward anybody. And I can talk to anybody. But there was this guy, he was gay, and he played the piano like I did. And he
Mm-hmm.
was eccentric, and I liked him. He was cool. I'm like, I would talk, hey Lou, what's going on? His name was Luther. Hey, what's going on, man? Getting fat. I don't like, and he was saying, I was like, man, I'm like, Luke, man, how did you get like that? He told me, he said, man, he said his mom, she was a single woman, and she would take him to church and leave him at church, like
Mm-hmm.
leave him at church. She cooked for the pastor, did all this. And he said, my mom's pastor molested me when I was young.
Mm-mm-mm.
And he said, when that
Mm-mm.
spirit gets on you when
You
you are
can't shake it.
impressionable and young, it's hard to shake that. And this is why there's a lot of men out there who have aggression issues and problems because they're fighting
Mm.
these urges. And
Mm.
that's one thing I'm glad
Mm.
I've never been molested. I don't have those demons to try to fight off and try to overly act like I'm tough and bad like that. If you see men act like they tough and beating on women and act like just
Mm.
they've been tampered. More than likely they've been tampered with.
Mm. That's what
They don't
my
have no
daughter
kind.
tells me. Okay.
Yeah, I know this. I know this, but
Mm.
this is what I know, not what I believe. I know it, you
Yes,
know.
sir.
And so I've never been tampered with like that. I'm glad I don't have that to worry about. And so that's why my mind, because I've seen a lot, I have patience with people. Because when I see a guy that's acting like he's real tough,
You already know.
like he's just talking real bad on these platforms and acting real tough, and then projecting
Mm.
gayness and sleeping on other people. These people, you gotta have an intelligent mindset. So, okay, then. 'Cause a lot of times, what people do is end up projecting what they are onto other people because they can't see life no different than what their little psychosis mind see things. There's another guy, and I found out this guy was from my hometown, Gary, Indiana,
Mm.
and he looked like he could be in my family because he got family in Mississippi. He's a big guy. He works out. He's been on YouTube for a long time, a huge following on YouTube, huge following. And he knows him and Tyler Perry at one point used to hang around. He has a
Mm.
huge platform on YouTube. He probably got maybe close to 100,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
But big guy, workout, and he's all gay, but he's not flamboyant gay. And in fact, he don't really like hanging around
Mm.
gay people because he said he don't like the way they act and how they conduct themselves. But he said that he was riding in this Mercedes, and he said he saw this guy riding in this I guess a Rolls Royce, and he said the guy waved at him like trying to wave him over like that, and said the guy said that, hey man, you look nice, you big like that. He said, yeah. He said, man, oh, you're a trainer, and the guy said, yeah, I train. I've been training for a while like that. So they exchanged numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said the guy would call him on the phone about a regimen, a training. Then he started just talk to him about random things, right? And the guy was talking about how he said the guy started saying how he's how he looked nice and he liked his build, just progressing to the point he started saying that what he wanted him to do to him like that. And
Mm.
he was saying, I might be gay, but I ain't no trick.
Mm.
She said, I ain't no trick. I ain't some guy you just think you could just talk to him and then I'm gonna just sleep with you because of your fetishes. And so he said he told the guy, don't call me again. He said one day when the situation with Eddie Long came out, with
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Long, You remember Ellie Long had
I
groomed
remember
them
that.
young men. He had groomed them young men, and one of them young men said they had went to church and they had all the lights were off and they had some candles and some other stuff. To me, I know that's a that's a ritual that these organizations do to induct other men, young men. They said that. Well, he said that one of the pastors that was talking, this he said when he looked on TV, the same guy who he saw in the car was on TV trying to rebuke Eddie Long.
Mm,
It was one
mm.
of these pastors, the one that came from Hurricane Katrina. He had a huge organization church there, and he came to Atlanta, and Tyler Perry gave him the money to open up a new church. He said that was the one that was propositioning him on the phone.
That's wild. Wow.
And he said that
Wow.
Atlanta, Georgia, he can't tell you how many pastors in Atlanta, Georgia, that are sleeping with each other and having and married and trying to come at him. And he said, if another one of you punks, this is what he said, hit me up in my inbox or text me talking about what you want me to do, I'm gonna expose your ass. And that's what he said. He
Mm.
said that he said y'all women that's married to these men and these Greek fraternities, and he said, when they talk about they going on boys trips and men trips out there, he said they freaking with each other. And this is any organization. This is what he said. And the women that's in these organizations get ran through. They get ran through. You're gonna pay the piper if we're gonna give you the best choice jobs, you'll get the
Mm-hmm.
best, we're gonna select them. We want to put you in position to continue to freak and turn out other young men and women, and we're gonna give you the best jobs to work for us, to be infiltration. And guys, it's time to step up and step out, guys.
And
That's why I've never. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you because I know we got to get to a private meeting if you don't mind, but keep talking. Then I want you to segue into how we don't have to join secret societies. We don't have to do bad things. We can become our own bank and accumulate wealth a benevolent way. And I want you, if you don't mind, tell them how. Because before people thought they had to do that, or they chose to do certain things like join secret societies in order to get the best jobs or to get money. How can we now in this new reality accumulate wealth without doing all that?
Well, right now we're seeing thanks to you, Kia, and
Oh,
the
thank you,
other
Steve.
people who are giving a financial forecast. Um, to be honest with you, and I've said it all the time, I didn't really know the depths about foreign currency until I heard you to break it down here.
Oh, thank you, Chief.
I really didn't know the depths of it. I had some Zimbabwe's in, but probably a few of them that
Mm,
was given to me by one of the
mm,
people in my group as a token
mm,
of all of the good things that I had been doing for them. Some
mm-hmm.
people had given me donations because I was taking people doing their trust for free, take them down to the
Wow.
courts, get that paperwork, record it on the
Thank you.
record. So these people made donations to me. Then they turn around and returned against me, said, "Oh, I gave him money, I gave this, but that was a donation you gave to me because I did your trust for free."
Mm,
Okay, then I took you down to the bank when you had no know how to go to the banks to get the trust or open it up or what to say to them, how to go down to Superior Court. So I was able to really know how to go in there and do all of the currency dealerships. You laid them out there. I
thank you,
chose
Chief.
Banknote World. I chose Banknote World, and I've got over 90% of the foreign currency that I have for Banknote World because of you, because of you putting it out there. And a lot of people. Then I took
Thank
it
you,
upon
Chief.
myself to create my page, and I've been sharing with a lot of people. Get some foreign currency. Now you talked about the XR. You don't really talk about the
The
XRP and get it.
digital. Mm-mm.
It's just because a lot of people are not savvy enough to protect that, so we don't talk about that.
Right,
But you
right.
talk about gold. We talk about things you can get that you have on you that's tangible, like gold and silver. If you buy that, they're gonna mail it to you when you have it on your person. Foreign currency, they're gonna mail it to you, and you're gonna have it on your person. But so many people have gotten the digital assets. They have gotten it stolen because they didn't have a cold wallet. They didn't know how to protect it. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't talk about it. But for those of us who have invested in gold, silver, and foreign currency, which I have, and have it on you, we didn't have. So this is telling us right now that we didn't have to sell out. That we didn't, that the people who did these things, I feel sorry for them.
Mm-hmm.
I got people really close to me that have done these things,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of these people can't accept. I have explained to certain people that are close to me to get some foreign currency, and they look at me like a deer in headlights
Mm-hmm.
because they think it's not broke, so they don't look at they need to be fixing.
Mm-hmm.
They have sold out so much into their education and joined these secret organizations that
Mm-hmm.
it's not broke. I don't need to fix it, and they're so far in that it's kind of hard for them to come out. So what we didn't
Can
do
they
that.
even get out? Can they get out, Chief? Some people say blood in, blood out.
I got a close friend of mine who's a part of one of those, and he said he wants to get out. He said now that he woke up, he listened to you. I've been able to talk to him. He's got foreign currency. In the
Oh, good.
past 4 months, he's got a lot of foreign currency, and he's joined one of these organizations. He doesn't want to be in it anymore. So he
Mm,
said, I think it's something he can do to try to get out or renege like that, but he's not happy with it because he said that
mm,
all they asked for is dues. He don't really see any effective things that they're doing in the community. And he said he
mm-hmm.
wants out. Say he wants out, and he listened to you and all the other podcasts that talked
And
about
you, I'm
foreign
sure.
currency. Of course, me, but he actually could talk to me on the phone.
Okay, okay.
And they say he's not happy or pleased with the organization. And when the wealth comes, he's gonna go off in private and just live his life. He
Mm,
don't see he doesn't see any benefits of being in this organization.
mm.
No,
Yeah, because a lot of them are losing their assets, losing their jobs. Some of them are being arrested. Their uplines being arrested. It's like what was the benefit? Maybe in the old reality, they had money and wealth, but you got people online doing podcasts making more than so-called entertainers and professionals.
it's a whole new world, man.
It
I
is.
I've never did social media because I was trying to collect a check or
Mm-hmm.
any of these platforms. I was doing it to put out the truth, and I've been doing that
You've been
since
doing it for years.
I've been doing that since I had it because I knew when you have the knowledge that I have, like here having like you don't do well around people who think in 3D.
Mm-mm.
When you work when you work jobs, and I've talked to so many brothers and sisters that think like me and you, when you work a job and you have the mindset that we have, you stand out. And I didn't do well because in order to succeed on these jobs, you got to be willing to be wicked to people.
Yeah, a lot of times you do.
If they tell you to go fire this person because for just no reason because the district manager the people don't like this person, but they're gonna send you in to do the dirty work. This is
Mm-hmm.
why this is why I put you in position to do the dirty work that I don't want to
That's
do.
what they
I'm
do.
gonna put you in position to be that puppet to do the dirty work for me. And if you can't do it, you're not gonna get promoted. And this is most jobs are like that. People they promote you to be wicked to the people, and I'm not like that. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then you go to job, if you look a certain way, men are jealous of you. Of a man, if you look at nice, a woman might like a guy, and then the manager might like this girl. Then he mad at you because he been there, he gave up promotion, but she like you. I don't have time for that, man. I don't have I don't have time for that, man. I had to check this one manager before. I said, look, I pull him to the side. I said, dude, man, hey, the girl is in my face. I'm not in her face. And I had to check him. I
Mm.
checked him because he called her to the back, talked to her. When she came back, she told me, she said, yeah, he been asking me questions about you. He did see that. I said, listen, man, listen, I don't have a problem because but dude, you can go outside. I'll handle you. I'll handle you. Because you don't have to say my name And if you think you
Right.
can badmouth a guy to another woman, you're foolish because the
Mm,
woman gonna come back. A woman, if she likes a man, there's nothing you can say about her to this guy if she has him in her heart like that. Okay then. So I've had women come back and tell me things that men have said because of envy,
mm,
malice, hate, and jealousy like that. But you know, you're not when you are like us. You're not supposed to be on no damn job, man. We're not even supposed to be working anyway. You're not
right.
supposed to be around the job working for peanuts with that paying you out your trust and you just over broke
Mm.
to be around a lot of 3D minded people. That's abusive, and a lot of people go to work and get abused.
I did not even know they were paying us our salaries and our pay out of our own trust until you told me
I didn't
that.
know that until I took my Series 7 broken classes, doing some studying, and realized that everything that you get is always coming from your estate. Any money you
Mm,
get, if somebody win the
mm,
lottery, all they're gonna do is pull the money out your estate. The
mm,
foreign currency, whether it's a bonds, you got foreign currency, whether you got XRP, whatever, the credit is going to come from your state. Everything is coming from your state. Everything.
mm,
So
mm.
they're about to shut that down right now. So that's why all these government so-called programs that people are getting, they're gravy train, they're shutting that down because they're not allowing people to pull from that estate.
Mm.
Even your humanitarian projects, even a grant that's coming from your state. When you have life insurance, a so-called death insurance that paying you out your estate, life insurance is an implied trust. Insurance, period, is a trust.
Mm.
Your mortgage is a trust. Your job
You
application,
gotta write
as you
that
put your social
down.
security number down, it's a trust. When they go on there and you get a job, you put your social security number down, they're gonna sit there and send that to the treasury, and they're gonna pull out maybe 15 to 20 million out of your state, set up an escrow account, and pay you out your escrow account, and then put another type of hidden death insurance on you. Man, come on, man. This is a cold-blooded world, man.
Mm, 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 mm. I had to write that down. Mm.
Cold-blooded, man. Everything is coming from this state. And these jobs got hidden insurance on people because they have these jobs are pulling up people's medical records. And they're seeing who's sick, who has diabetes, who has this, and they're putting insurance. If you smoke and got cancer, they see your medical record, they ain't telling you that, and they go and throw insurance on you.
Pastors too. Pastors have insurance on their members. I learned that when somebody passed away in a local church, and I was asking the people that's close to this woman that passed, what are they gonna do? She was estranged from her parents. How they gonna bury her? And somebody said, "Oh, it's okay. The pastor he got life insurance on it." I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I looked it up, and I didn't know this is what they were doing. T.
We gotta wake up, man.
Pastors
And
have life insurance policies on their members. Mm, mm, mm.
and they have an incentive on whoever they get baptized.
Talk about that. And then we got to wrap up, T. Talk about that and give us some
When,
final words, please.
when you get baptized, that paperwork that they give you is on bond paper. And they send that to the Vatican. It's the same as a birth certificate when they trade you out on the stock market again and making money through your religion. Your religion and getting baptized ain't got nothing to do with you getting holy and getting closer to no damn savior. They run a game on it. They pull from you spiritually, your spiritual state and your physical state with that baptism. This is why they're trying to get your child baptized because I believe that the pastor have an incentive on whoever they get baptized.
So that's why they're always pressing, that's baptism in the sermons and the, lessons. Do these pastors know that? I'm just, do they
Some of them
know?
got to know that. Some of them, the higher they're up, then they know these things. They're in these secret organizations. They're there
Mm.
to rock the people to sleep. They're there. And then the higher you get up in these organizations, that you know the God of religion, Christianity is Lucifer.
Mm. You know what, Chief? I was reading the scripture because I used to do workbooks and journals and all that stuff. I would write them for the church members, and when I discovered the scripture, a couple scriptures, and I ran to my pastor, and it's like I gotta tell you something, and I was like, read this because he had to edit all the books, the books that I was writing, that we would use in the trainings, and I said I want to show you something. And he was like, why are you saying this about Satan? I am Lucifer. I am the bright morning star. I am. And he was reading, why are you saying that about Satan? in this book, you want me to give this to the saints? He was like, no, Jesus is the bright morning star. I said, that ain't what the scripture says. I showed him. And this is a man that read the Bible, but I had discovered it while I was researching. So what you're saying, it blew me away. And they said, these pastors preach that Jesus is the bright morning star, and he's the no. That was talking about Lucifer, the son of the morning, and all this and all that. No. And I was like, do these pastors know some of this stuff? Like you said, some of them do, but some of them, they might just be regurgitating, or they might just acting like they don't know. I don't know, Chief. I don't know.
You know, in the old text in the book of Isaiah, the so-called the creator in the book was saying that there is no savior beside me. That I am the only. He said there is no savior beside me. It also said that there's only one throne that sits above the firmament, and that the firmament is my footstool.
It does.
In other words, he said he was a giant, because the giant, as big as the world is, he said that it is his footstool. And he said, and it's saying that there's only one throne that sits above that, and there's nobody beside. There's no gods beside me. There's nobody sitting to my left and my right. I mean, so it's contradictory, man. But y'all,
it is.
And also tell Christians, would you love some Christmas? And then if you add up Jesus, if you add up Lucifer, and if you add up Satan and Santa and Gematria, they're both the same. And then in the old text, in the book of Jeremiah 10, it's saying don't cut down no tree and deck it with silver and gold. And y'all love y'all some Christmas, man. Y'all are being played.
It says it says in that scripture, it says they deck it with silver and gold, they worship it and say, and they say the tree is evergreen, and they say, how glorious are you? And it goes, and I was like, oh my God.
Worshiping Lucifer, then putting that morning star at the top, which is the representation of the Baphomet. Y'all, man.
That's why my mom wouldn't celebrate Christmas. None of my children, we were raised not celebrating Christmas, because even though, you know, I get the whole you could celebrate winter solstice, or, you know, but when my mama, she knew it intuitively, I guess. She was like, we're not doing it. So we never did, but we grew up and taught our children the same thing, not to celebrate Christmas. And when I saw it was in the scripture, I was like, oh my goodness, they've been celebrating this so-called holiday for a long time.
And to be honest, all the person got to do is do some real research. Christmas was brought over here 100 years ago. We didn't celebrate Christmas, man. Period. This was stuff that was brought over here. Our indigenous custom and tradition, we did not. Christmas, our great-grandma never said nothing about no Christmas. Our great-great-grandparents never said nothing about no Christianity at all, period. All you gotta do is do your indigenous research, and you find out all this stuff is new. No damn Jesus in the Bible ain't no damn 2,000 years old. All that stuff is made up.
It's not. You're right.
It's made up. It's all made up. When they brought the Slavics over here, a lot of stuff was brought over here, and they were initially brought over here to be the slave, and they switched around to, you know, calling us slave, which we were never slaves. We are POW. All you gotta do is do some real research, and you'll find these things out. I'm not crazy about what I talk about. I know what I don't believe what I'm talking about. When I speak something, I know what I'm talking about. And that's why I don't keep no religion. I don't keep no holidays. Now, if my family had a cookout on a certain holiday, I'm past that being judgmental. I'll go there and spend time with family. But I'm not doing it in the name of Christmas, Thanksgiving Day, or any other holiday. At all, I don't keep it at all, period. You're not going to guilt trip me into it or whatever. I'm not doing it. And I'm going to create my own holidays. I'm going to create my own heaven on earth. I'm going to create my own religion. I'm a God.
I love that. I love that.
You can do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not black, but I'm white in status, and I'm melanated in color.
Oh, come on. I love that.
So we all that black and white crap, man. The white folks ain't white, and so-called black folks ain't black. Okay? And in fact, the definition of black is the white people.
Mm-hmm.
It means pale. Pale is black. Y'all been lied to, but you're gonna get the truth over here, whether you like it or
Mm,
not. Get it?
mm.
But the truth will set you free. To set you free. I'm not the smartest man in the world. I'm not competing with no other podcaster or people that's doing this. I'm doing me, and I'm smarter than the average person. I got some information because I got people that appreciate the information that I'm giving. You know, and so for a long time, many of us got rejected, talked about, ridiculed, betrayed for the information and standing upright and forefront and our overstanding and got mistreated. But now those days are gone right now. The people that judge us are getting ready to be judged.
That's the truth. They're being judged. Chief, if anybody wants to get in contact with you for a consultation or for a private trust and learn how to live in the private outside of the jurisdiction of the United States Incorporated or the government, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, you can email me at unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. Guys, there's some incredible things happening in the month of July. Already they said that Venezuela had 3 so-called earthquakes now. 3.
Mm.
And then when they first came out, they said 6,000 people died, so-called transition, right? 6. So they give you the 3 6s, 666. Then they said, if I'm not mistaken, when it first came out, they said there were 2 earthquakes that hit. If I'm not mistaken, they said the first one was 7.5, and I think the other one was supposed to be 7.5, giving you 7.5. That's 15. Giving you 1 + 5 is 6. Man, they can't make this stuff up, man.
Wow.
Can't make this stuff up. And then they give you a whole bunch of CGI and actors on the ground and gave you the same old 9/11 saga. But people, ain't nothing happened over there. It's all made up. They put it on the heartstrings of the people, and something major is going to happen here in the States. And they're going to RV. I think the month of July is going to be RV month, and we're going to be living our most amazing life. They better go in the bank, but they need chaos out of order.
Right.
So if you don't have your trust, you better get it, because I can promise you this much. If you don't have a trust, you're not moving those funds like that. You have to be forced to get one from the bank. And if you get one from the bank, you're in bad shape. So,
Okay.
go ahead.
I was just going to tell everybody, we're getting ready to go to our private group. I have the link here. Well, Chief usually, if he usually talks a little bit more about trust. And at some point in our private group, he's going to help us even further, like to learn what to do once you have a trust. But we're going over to the private group. I'm inviting a gentleman who's been in the industry for a while. If he wants to speak, he can. Chief Mack more than likely would be there. So we'll talk about foreign currencies a little bit in that group. Next, we're going to do a financial report and talk a little bit about gold. We'll do that for the first 10 to 15 minutes. And then I want to help you with your credit. If you have problems with your credit or need help with getting things off your credit. Also, I have some news coming out of Iraq. So we're going to give that information in just a few minutes. The link is in the chat. This is the link to the actual show. And I don't know if you can click on that link and join a private group from that link, or if you just have to go to any of my videos on my YouTube channel and click join.
Yeah.
Is that what you do? Go ahead.
Can I say something?
Of course.
To the true family of the soul tribe, who have righteous hearts, and for your protection, I talked to Kia. We're going to go up on the feed. I was told kids to go up on the feed and to be in the private group, because I do not want people over here being certain people get pertinent information shouldn't be getting. So if you want to get some pertinent information, you're going to pay for it. So I asked kids to go up on people being able to come into this private group, because this thing is going to happen. The RV happen, and when it happens, I don't think that we should be saying this over a public forum. It needs to be said in a private group, because there are certain people who have it, who have foreign currency, that certain people don't need to know that they have it. So that's a certain amount of protection that you guys need to do. When it happens, you talk about going to the banks. You want to go to a bank probably several miles, at least several distance away from where you stand. You want to get some liquidity, but not all of your liquidity, to start putting certain security teams, private investigators and financial teams in place before you execute that move on all of the currency. And these are the things that we're going to talk about in this private group. So I don't want anybody over here in hustling and not hustling. So I explained to you here, if you can go up on the rate. So if you're going to be over here I hustling and in hustling, we're going to see who your name is. We're going to see your name from the card that you use. We're going to know who you are. I want to know who you are. If you're over here, because we got some wicked people that still hustling. You got people that still mad and sour and idiots and fools. And they're going to pay. If they want to be over here I hustling and in hustling, you're going to pay for it.
Better get in while you can before the price is raised, family. We have a private membership group and you can join. This is one of the links, or you can just hit join on any of my videos or on my main channel on YouTube. You hit join, you follow the prompts, and you're in. And the reason why you have membership groups is, like you said, you don't put everything out in the public. Some things are in the private. Sometimes we have conversations and people don't want their information out there, but they may trust a private group. So it's a sacred group. We know we become friends and family. So join a private group. Here is the link. I'll put it right here. And then Chief, got something you want to summarize? No, do a conclusion for me, please, Chief, so we can go on to the private group.
No, let's get ready to go over that, man. This thing's about to go down. There are things happening in real time. Things are happening right now. Of course, some things just took place in Iraq, which we talk over in the private group. Things are building up. Trump just did something supposed to take place in July 4. We're moving full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. Things happening out of all places. Things that happened over in Venezuela. They just had a third earthquake that happened. 3 is a charm. And so something major is going to happen here in the States this month.
And also, the Prime Minister of Iraq is supposed to meet with Donald Trump in July, President Donald Trump in July.
They just called all these would-be bad guys with all of this so-called currency in Iraq. So now that they have caught them with it, now they feel safe to go and release and open an army up.
Thank you, Chief. Well, I just sent you a new link to the private group, Chief Mac, and hopefully you'll join us over there because
I will.
Okay, I'll try. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate you. I'll try my best not to be on long, family, but sometimes I just get a little excited about the information, and I want to help you all as much as possible. Is that it, Chief? Anything else we have?
We're good. Let's go ahead and go over.
Okay. All right, family. We love you so much. Here is the link. You all saw the link to join the private group, but here is the meeting we're about to do right now. Let me see. Let me write private meeting. We're going to do a brief report again, just to summarize on gold, and then a report on Iraq and any intel Chief might want to give us. And then we'll also help anybody that has some questions about their credit. So that's it. We love you all so much. Thank you, Sister Janine, for moderating the chat. Thank you all. Saw Canada join the house and people from all over the world. We love you. And thank you, Chief, as well. Bye-bye, Soul Tribe. See you in the private group right now. Bye, Chief. See you in a minute. Hold on, Chief. I'm trying to get out of here in the live.